So, good evening, everyone. I am asked to talk a little about my experiences in daily life, but also in my workshops. And one of the things I would like to share is that is what I come across quite often that the spiritual people, spiritual interested people coming to my workshops, um, I might see it and explain it in this way that it might seem like an escape because we need to go through the right order, to my belief. We are on a journey which is called we are having a spirit and physical experience. So we cannot turn it around and start with spirituality. So the body gives me a lot of information about the subconscious and the conscious level. The conscious level we can deal with mostly, but the subconscious parts within us make us behaving in a way we might not understand. So it is very important to clear the imprints we have on the physical level before we can even think of spiritual development. That is turning the world around, so to say. That is not the right order to my belief. So the physical body needs to be cleared of all kind of imprints. And the way I did it, and that is what I also do in my seminars with men and women, we need to clear the relation with father and mother first, because they are my roots. The inner feminine inside me is like my mother is. Of course, a lot of other experiences, but she is the first woman I meet in my life. And this is what I really love, that realization that she gave birth to me. So there's a very strong bond with the two of us. I was in her womb for 9 months. I had already life experiences in that period of time. I can hear her voice. I can hear the situations she was in. So, in other words, the bond is very strong. And the same with Father. Father conceived me, and Father is, um, let's say, the source of my life. Without my Father, I would not have been here. But during a lifetime, we will have some experiences which might be not desired or very painful, very happy, of course. And whatever imprints we have, we need to clear it in order to be able to open the spiritual part of ourselves. Now, the body is consisting mainly of water, and we know from this beautiful Japanese professor Emoto, who showed us the pure geometries of water when it was in connection with harmonious sounds. Let's say in a beautiful classical concert, had effect on the geometry of the water. So if my body consists of 90% of more 70% of water about, that means my body can be programmed. My body can remember things. My body can um, store things. And that can be cleared. The way I cleared my mom and dad was um, doing alpha training and uh, looking through the imprints I had in relation with my mom and which I had in relation to my dad. When I free myself of, then my brain responds to it like an higher alpha state. So that is the nicest thing I ever came across in my life, to do this alpha training. And it taught me above all to be authentic. In this alpha training, it seems to that I can see the difference between the doing things and the being things. The being things are just surrender. So we need to surrender in order to have a high state of alpha within our brain and to be able to be authentic. I am who I am. But before we get to that stage of being authentic, I need to clear the imprints which might bother me in my exploration of my potential in life. And on purpose, I use this word potential because it has this word potent in it. That I am a potent being if I free myself of the imprints with father and mother. If I become the individual I can be, I can explore my life to full extent, to my full potentiality. So it is really a challenge to go through the healing of father and mother and whatever needs to be healed in what is stored in my body. It can be things related to my job, it can be things related to friends, it can be other family members. So, and it works like a knot in my energy. So when I have a lot of knots, the energy cannot flow. And you will understand that the more knots I have, the more chances I have to get diseased. And no one wants that. We want to live, we want to be happy, we want to be free. So clearing father and mother is very, very helpful. To have a freed inner masculine, to have a freed inner feminine, then I can explore my life, what is offered to me being here in this physical body. It doesn't matter how long I work on it. We live eternal. There's no rush. There's no hurry. There's no reason to be stressed. We have a long life, everlasting life with no end to it on the spiritual level. So, but we choose to be on this humane path, living in a physical body. So we need to get that experience to full extent. I need to understand what is within me on the physical level, what is within me on the emotional level, and most likely they are bonded to one another. If I feel free in relation to my mom or my dad, then it brings me joy. If I'm not free in relation with one of them, then I feel maybe depressed, I feel sad or whatever, but it cannot be joy. And I worked on freeing my mom and dad for a long time, and I even went back to previous lifetimes, what we shared together. So, and without even mentioning that I was doing this work in relation to them, my mom said out of the blue, Tom, you are the only son who fought himself free of family tradition. I was nailed to the floor because she would never say things like that. Her only aim in life was staying, having the family together in a nice family order. So she would not allow to think and me acting differently than she expected. But she said out of the blue, to my greatest surprise. So I learned through that. I didn't free myself, but I also freed my mom. And she's not here anymore, and it feels really like we are friends. But what would it mean to me living with the idea that my mom and myself did not clear the road, clear of the imprints I have on the physical level? That means I cannot live my potential. I am not living in all the things which are offered to me, being in this beautiful body. And I would not allow myself to be bothered by any issues bugging me not to be a free person, to be a free man, to be a free inner woman, to live the life which is offered me. And I have the same example with my daddy. My dad said out of the blue, Tom, you are the only son who can fulfill my wishes in my last will. And I was surprised because he said always, the oldest son is supposed to do that. And I asked him, why me? I'm number four. I was the fourth son of five. And he said, no, 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 you are the only person who can do that without any reasons. And I accepted it. He said, okay, I will do it for you, but please put it into your last will that I am the one who is responsible for the realization of your last will. And he did. He put it in his last will. But I also asked him to tell my brothers that he made the decision. After he died, I learned he never did. But that's okay. I mean, obviously he didn't see the reason to tell it, or he just forgot about it. But it was mentioned in his last will. So for him it was very important to have the idea that his last will be realized with someone who could rely on. So why is Father relying on me? Because he felt free himself. The same issue as with my mother. So, in other words, I can, through the work I did in forgiving my father, forgiving my mother for the various issues which were stored in my physical body, I feel this free person. I can live my potential. And that is what I share in my workshops, and mainly in my masculine and feminine workshops. I have three levels of masculine work. The first level is feel your power, feel your strength, feel this enormous source of energy within you. I call it the aggressor. Others call it Hari. They have many names for this very basic animalistic quality in each of us. And we need to live that. We are very fearful mostly of it because we know by intuition it is very strong. And if we take that source through our heart, we can never hurt anybody. We can never do anything wrong because the heart is connected with this enormous source. And it makes me very powerful as a man. I go straight forward on the line I am putting for myself. And the second level, we go more to the intuitive and the creational part. And many men said, oh, I thought we go to deeper levels on the masculine. No, no, no. I have a deep, deep experience in my tantric training. And I discovered that my inner feminine is very, very strong. And even sometimes I think that inner feminine is even stronger than my inner masculine. Just thinking of the fact that a woman can give birth and having their child 9 months in her body. Would a man be able to do that? We will never know. But I heard once a woman saying, whenever a man was supposed to bring a baby to this world, we will not have that many as we have now. That is a female experience, what I will never know. But I felt the strength of this inner woman, and so if I can explore that quality inside me, it makes me a different man. I become very more creative. I am using my strength to be connected with my intuition and my creativity. It makes me a different man. If I understand more about my inner feminine and to free it above all of the imprints my mom might have given to me. So we worked a lot with feminine and masculine archetypes in that workshop to make clear what kind of person you would like to be. And then only on the third level, we go to the spiritual level. So having the force, the power open within our physical body, knowing about my inner feminine, knowing about my intuition, knowing about my creativity, Then I can explore my spirituality, which is the energy around me, which are my chakras, which are my energetic body, which also can have imprints of previous experiences. But that is another issue. But first, living your spiritual being is the best to do it when your physical body is cleared of all kinds of imprints in daily life and experience with mother, with father, jobs, and whatever. And then um, open that intuition and creativity, and then we can explore our spiritual side. So it is not very wise to start on the spiritual level. Then the spiritual development might work like I try to escape of whatever is stored in my physical body. So that is the order I recommend for everyone, to work first on the physical level, connect it with the emotional level, and from there on open the spiritual level, and that makes you complete. And that doesn't mean that we become spiritual beings living in a physical body. It is the other way around. I am a spirit having a human experience. So I need to live that quality which is given to me in my physical body, in my physicality.